Hey guys, this is Kino DVT here, bringing you a replay between Ejiden and Switchback. Okay, Ejiden being the pink Zerg spawning in the upper left-hand corner of this map, which the name I'm actually blanking on, and Switchback spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, I believe this map is Tal'Darim Altar. I've been rocking it a lot on ladder recently, and it's a lot of fun. It seems to be very balanced, and I want to give props to the GSL maker, whoever made it. These two players are both master level players. I found the replay on a website I often visit, so that's kind of interesting. Both players seem to be going fairly standard. We do see Ijiden, I have no idea how to pronounce that name, scouting in the opposite position, not where his opponent actually is. However, Switchback does appear to be heading in the right direction with his probe. This is going to mean a very fast scout, and if Ijiden wants to early expand, Switchback is going to know about it instantly. Ijiden has not put down a spawning pool yet, so this could indicate an expansion. He is just about to pop his 3 workers from after Overlord pops, so it's going to be interesting. This is the point where a Zerg normally starts to save up money for that kind of thing. We do see this worker patrolling back and forth here is going to stop this worker from doing anything. However, 2 workers are setting out right now. This would indicate that he does want to expand to Switchback, and some early pressure could then be applied. However, early pressure may not be as effective as he would wish, but this gateway was placed at around the 13 mark. Maybe a little later, not sure. We do see an assimilator going down very, very shortly for Switchback. This is interesting, indicating an early stalker maybe. We do see a pylon going down in the position that would normally be reserved for the hatchery. This is going to make Ijiden's expansion problems a bit of a nuisance. We do see him putting down his spawning pool and still unable to get that expansion down. 2 workers are currently hammering away at this pylon, but it's going to put his expansion plans back quite a while, and I'll be interested to see if Switchback does place down a Zealot, warp in a Zealot to put on some early pressure. However, I think he's just going to use it for defensive purposes, maybe take an expansion of his own. He is not saving up minerals for that cause at the moment and seems to be keeping up pro production and just normally going for 1-base play, so I'll be interested to see if we see a 4-gate or a 2-gate robo. Apart from that, Ijiden does not appear to be doing anything. He hasn't put down gas yet. He is pumping out some Zerglings and a Queen. He does have enough for this expansion, but the pylon is still there. I suggest the Zerglings will be dealing with it. I would have personally just left 1 drone attacking it, because then the shields are not allowed to regen if you don't stock attacking them. They actually regen shield after. Now that's interesting. I wonder if that's in a position. I think it is. The shields actually stop regenning, only start regenning once out of combat. That is interesting. I wonder if that's going to block the hatchery. I suspect it will. So it's going to be delayed even more, and given he's currently sitting at 700 minerals, this is really not a good thing. 700 minerals is not very good at this level. We do see Switchback sitting on about 300, so not an amazing amount better. He is supply boxed, so that's going to take away 100, and maybe a gateway or 2 could deal with the other 100. Is this working and doing anything? No, we're going to see an expansion. I like this play a lot. He's putting down an expansion at exactly the same time as the Zerg. This is going to mean that the Zerg is not out macroing. However, are we going to see some pressure? No, I think they're just splitting up to make sure there's no triple expansion shenanigans going on. We do see the gas going down for Zerg, finally. That's a little later than I would normally suggest. We do see 2 queens, however. 1 queen will be spreading creep, and this will allow him to go down here and spawn creep and inject lava. I wonder if he'll be doing 3-4 queen, given he has 3 bases. This is reasonably risky. However, his opponent, to my knowledge, has not seen this, so it could make it interesting. His opponent hasn't actually seen this base, if we see over here in the minimap, but he pretty much knows it's happening. The amount of effort he spent trying to take that expo is very, very obvious, to be honest. We do see Edgerton now gaining sight over his opponent's expansions. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see his response. I'm saying interested a lot. We do see an evolution chamber coming out. This could mean spore crawlers and something else, but I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. So let's see what happens. An evolution chamber could indicate upgrades or spore crawler. I don't think it actually connects any other tech, so let's see what happens. Do we see a roach warren being put down? No. A couple of spine crawlers at the natural, well, just one. Another queen coming out of here, so he's going to be using 3 queen to push out creep as much as possible. We do see switchback going for 2 more, wait, a forge and a gateway. Going to be pushing those upgrades as fast as he can. We do see Zerg level 1 weapons coming out, and another evolution chamber. He is going to be pushing these upgrades hard. I suggest level 1 armor could be on the books. We don't see any lair tech or anything of that yet, which is surprising me, because normally you would see roach or banelings and lair tech, or lair tech. You will normally see one of the other, but he seems to just be wanting to push this econ. Now, I'm not at a mastered level. I wish. So I don't exactly know what the metagame level is there. In Gold League, it would definitely be Roach Warren or something along those lines, but at a Masters level, not a professional level, I'm not exactly sure. We do see another Spine Crawler going down for Edgerton. This should make this fairly hard to take. We do see quite a lot of sentries, which is interesting. They're very, very weak, but that will allow him to get the control CC over his opponent that he does semi-need. We do see a lair coming down now. That's fairly late. It is the 9th minute, but this is fairly econ play. This could make his life interesting if Switchback was going for a DT rush, but he does not appear to be. There is air coming in, but these 3 queens combined should be able to deal with this fairly well, as long as they rally and try and deal with it. These Zerglings are also in a very, very prime position to scout this as it moves, so that's also interesting. No, that didn't work. Command 3. No, that didn't work either. So we do see him getting some hits on these Zerglings, probably an attack move, not really deliberate, so not exactly the best thing. He is backing off though, which is interesting. He might have been able to put some pressure on. These 2 queens are now moving down here, which is slightly out of position. We do see a Spore Crawler. Where is this Spore Crawler? We do see a Spore Crawler at the... I have no idea. We do see a Spore Crawler being built here. That's going to give him a nice defendable position. And a Queen just microing around to what he can do. Do any of the Queens actually have enough? Yep, a few of the Queens haven't. 2 of the Queens have enough for a transfuse, so this Overlord is pretty much gone. There's not much he can do about it. This Overlord is going to have to back off if it wants to survive, and if it comes back, it's going to have one hell of a day. We do see this probe heading out either to expand or scout. I think it's more of a scout rather than an expansion, which is interesting. This is quite a powerful force setting out right now to take his 3rd expansion by busting down these rocks. Zerg, however, is already sitting on a 3rd expansion. He's not heavily mining gas yet. His gas income is about the same. He could be mining off 3 gases, but he's chosen not to so far, so we'll see how that pans out for him. He is now taking 1 of the 2 extractors at his 3rd base, and has finished on these rocks. We do see an Immortal and Extended Thermal Lance and armor coming out, so that's going to make the life interesting. Also 34 Zerglings. We do see Baneling speed coming along, so I think we're going to see a Baneling bust very, very soon. Baneling speed, and he has been pumping these upgrades fairly well. He's pushing level 2 melee weapons and level 2 armor right now. Banelings gonna be evil. Immortals versus Banelings is not particularly good. You need 10 of them to take down shield, and then you need like 7 of them to take down health, so that could be a metaphorical tank, as it were. Switchback does see this large amount of Zerglings. Does he know about the Baneling Nest? He does know about the Baneling Nest. He still has not scouted that 3rd expansion. Has he seen it? No. So this proxy pylon is accidentally in a very, very good position. We do see Edgerton pushing out to try and get what little map control he can. What little map control being the wrong word. He's trying to push out and get as much map control as he can, making sure no expansions are going down, nothing tripsy like having expanded here, 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 and here, for instance. Or maybe not just there, and there, but a couple of places. However, he was able to gain vision on that pylon with that Overlord, so that was unlucky placement there by Switchback. or very, very good placement by Edgerton, depending on how you want to look at it. We do see quite a large force gathering up here. Supply-wise, he does have about a 15 supply lead, which is unusual for Zerg. However, Zerg is just putting down his 4th base. Teching wise, nothing particularly interesting is happening. We are going to see a Baneling drop, I would suggest, given Ventral Sax is coming out, and here comes a lot of Banelings. There was already a fair few Banelings, but here comes even more. We do see another Forge coming down for Switchback, so going to be pushing those upgrades as much as possible. He currently has 1-1 and 0. I don't know, Shield just seems to be a little too expensive for my liking, so I tend to get it last. We do see Overlord Speed has been dropped, as well as Ventral Sack, so that's going to make it interesting. We are going to see some Infesta play with him getting the, I have no idea what it's called, Panthagon Glands. Basically more energy on the Infestors. We do see an in-base hatchery, although that went down a long time ago. This will allow him to get a large amount of lava if we select his... pardon me, his hatcheries. We'll see 37 Zerglings. So with the amount of resources he is slowly building up, he will be able to deal with most things. He has a very, very heavy army of just Ling Baneling. This army is incredibly replaceable once it dies. Zerglings are cheap, efficient, and just easy to deal with. So that's gonna be interesting. We do see him loading up the Banelings into these Overlords. Just 3 maybe not some more. We do see nothing else much happening. We do see 3 bases from Switchback, 4 bases from Zerg, so being 1 up on his opponent. Income wise, we can see them pretty much neck and neck. It is leaning slightly in the favor of Switchback, but not much. We're looking at a 500 minute per mineral advantage and about 100 gas per minute advantage. So while significant, not amazingly like you're gonna lose bad. We see a Stargate and Fleet Beacon coming out for Switchback. This is going to make things interesting. Currently nothing on the production overlay for Zerg, except a shitload of Zerglings. We do see some Overlords heading out. More Banelings being nerfed in. Wow, there's a lot of Banelings. Yeah, this is not going to go well. We do see a 5th expansion going now for Edgerton, so a macro Baneling Zergling. Not cool. I do not want to come up against this, because you know as soon as all this dies, there's just going to be another big wad of it, because he's been fairly consistent with his spewing so far. We do see Adrenal Glands, Charge, Protoss, Armor, and weapons on the upgrades, and 3-3 for Zerg. This is going to be interesting. However, we do see sight being gained by Switchback, and he's going to try and gain that air advantage any way he can. He seems to be getting carriers. I say this because of the upgrade that's going on. We haven't actually seen any carriers being built yet. We also see some DTs and High Templars coming out. This could make things interesting. He will need Storm, however, and Storm is not around yet, but if he's using it just for Archons, that could make things very, very, very interesting. We do see another expansion being put down for Switchback, and a lot of cannons, to be honest. That's going to make his opponent's life difficult when trying to take it. However, if he gets there before the cannons are built, this could be devastating. I think he was going to put down enough gateways to block it off. Has he seen this? No, he has. No, yes, he has. How did he see that? I'm not sure, but however he did. This gateway. Oh, this is a very, very nice wall. However, I wonder how are you going to get stuff behind it. We do see a lot of Banelings and Zerglings coming in. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this. This is just not going well. I mean, it's such a massive Baneling army that it's actually blocking the Zerglings from doing very much and hindering himself rather than helping himself. We do see the Banelings not doing anything particularly interesting, just chilling, and Zerglings are going to deal with this Nexus. So Switchback in a bit of a position. He may not... Oh, we do see a devastating Baneling drop. Oh, let's have a look at the units lost tab there. Let's see, army killed. Army killed is... That is a lot of workers killed. 25 workers killed, and I'm pretty sure most of them were just there. Wow, that is some serious damage to an economy. We do see that Edgerton now has total map control. An expansion attempt by Switchback was made. with no ground taken. He actually lost quite a large amount of minerals and everything on that attack. We do see these Colossi are going to be needed very, very much with their 2 attacks, able to one-shot both Zerglings and Banelings, I believe. Yep, both Zerglings and Banelings. Banelings actually having less health than Zerglings. Wow, did not know that. So it's an interesting situation. I think Edgerton needs to just start throwing his army away to this point. Throwing his army away being the wrong point, but just try and bust in. New load of Zerglings, bust in again. We do see a Brood, Greater Spire, and an Ultralisk Cavern coming out. This is going to not complicate. This is going to simplify matters. And as you can see, he has been very, very consistent with his lava spawn. He currently has over... Wow, he currently has over 92 lava. That is enough to get to full pop if he loses the majority of his army very, very quickly. At the moment, one of his problems, I think, is he doesn't actually have full pop in army. I think he's waiting for his Ultralisk Cavern to finish. He's going to pop a bunch of Ultras and then push. Ultras will benefit from the 3/3 upgrades so far gained for the Zerglings, dealing 8 damage. That's almost as much as Zealots. We do see some Dark Templars heading out. This is going to be very, very difficult given that they're heading out to 3 different expansion locations. We do see an Overlord here stopping any kind of expansion from Switchback. Switchback just trying to gain any kind of map control he can, just seeing if there's an expansion going down. We do see a Spore Crawler at each base. Yep, there is a Spore Crawler at each base to stop air harassment, so this should prevent the Dark Templars from doing anything really at all. However, if they are left unattended, they can rip through the worker line and Queens. We do see air level 1 and Corruptors coming out. Corruptors will also benefit from the 3/3 gained for melee units, so this is going to be quite interesting. This Dark Templar is going to be able to take out this detection, which is really not a good thing. And a Observer able to get there just in time to save the mineral line. Very, very quick play there. Corruptors and Infestors coming out. This could make things very, very interesting. We do see a Carrier and Colossus coming out. At the moment, the advantage is going so far into the Zerg's favor, it's kind of ridiculous. Zerg has complete map control. He is aware of this expansion, even though he was unable to stop it. So I suggest we are going to see a Baneling slash... no, but he will be defending it with these 4 carriers. These 4 carriers will not do much. They will not be able to stop the Zergling army from just absolutely massacring it. Sure, they'll take lots of damage, but that's about it. We do see 6 Broodlords coming into creation now. This could make things very, very interesting. And this is quite a terrifying army. He has now hit 200, so he needs to do something with that army, then replace it, and then do something again with it again. We do see 3 full energy High Templars, so able to storm twice each, which could make things very interesting. Twice each, and then feedback, I might add, so your Infestors, Corruptors, and Detection could be in a little bit of trouble. However, no big confrontations has gone down. He may have forgotten about this Void Ray back here. It does have 6 kills. Maybe it could try and get some more on this Spinecrawler and a few other things. Maybe not. Maybe it just needs to... Oh my god. Oh, that's a lot of Banelings. He just morphed in 58 Banelings at a cost of, let's go with 25 minerals, 25 gas each. Holy but Jesus, that's a lot of Banelings. You could pretty much attack move this entire army with that, and I think he's going to. That's just kind of too many Banelings to deal with. On top of the Broodlords, the Baneling drops, and the Infestors, a Fungal Growth and then some Banelings would be devastating for this army. All these Zealots, all these Stalkers, this Archon, everything is just going to go except for the air, and then a couple of quick spawning Corruptors is just going to deal with that instantly. So it's not a very good situation for Switchback to be in. I mean, there's just so many Banelings. I'll be interested to see how this combat turns out. He does still have a large amount of minerals and a large amount of gas, so he will be able to replace his army very, very quickly. We do see him starting to engage the flow of Banelings. It's a river, a torrent Any more adjectives you would like to use, go for it. We do see some hallucinated immortals are going to take some of the damage, but not enough. The entire ground army being taken out, and now only left are the carriers and Colossus, which can be dealt with these Broodlords. However, these carriers are going to deal massive damage, but on the production overlay we do see 11 Corruptors. Corruptors are not going to be... Sorry, Corruptors are going to be the perfect counter, and we do see a lot of Fungal Growths going down, dealing damage over time and stopping this army in its tracks. We do see some infested Terrans as well, and a lot of DTs. Any detection that is not around when these DTs hit is going to be in a lot of trouble. If these DTs are able to do as much damage as they can, we do see these Broodlords running away, or running to the enemy being the better word. The carriers are now in pursuit, and there are enough Corruptors somewhere to deal with this. Corruptors are right here. We do see a flood of DTs coming in. What is he going to be able to do to deal with this? They are just coming in one at a time, seeing what they can do, but there's only one source of it, no way, two sources of detection. However, the only army on the ground currently does seem to be Zerglings. Zerglings versus DTs, not good. These DTs are going to have free run of this base, and I'm pretty sure this could be all over for Egen. He may have not pushed the advantage as fast as he could, but we do see 80 Zerglings on the production overlay right now. 80 Zerglings, that is a shit ton of Zerglings, and a fair amount of lava here could be spawned in to do something. However, Zerglings versus DTs is really not the good thing. I don't care if they've got the claws upgrade, it's not the most efficient thing you could do. Roaches might be a better solution, but then again, I'm only a gold leaguer, what the hell do I know? We do see Stalkers being warped in. Stalkers with Blink could be quite interesting. Edgerton does now have his half of the map, and Switchback is getting into a little bit of trouble, about to mine out. Actually, he is about to mine out his natural. He has mined out his main, and is about to mine out his third. So he's going to need to start taking some bases soon, and I believe that's what this worker is intended for. We do see Edgerton being supply capped right now quite heavily. 9 Overlords on the production overlay and a mothership. However, Corruptors and Zerglings are going to make this army's life not nice, is the best way to put it. Corruptors going to be able to deal with these carriers very, very quickly with some right corruption, as it's put. So there we go, they're going down fast, and Zerglings are cheap. He has 2,000 minerals. The problem is, does he have the lava? Yes, he does. He does have a large amount of lava, so lava production is really not a problem here. The problem is these carriers. This one is going to go down, and those Corruptors can now no longer do anything, and they're out of there. 60 Zerglings on the way. Should be able to just eat this to shreds, to be honest. 60 Zerglings is not nice. 60 Zerglings versus Stalkers, not good. 60 Zerglings versus Zealots, kind of bad. As we can see, these Zerglings are just able to rip into these Stalkers. However, Blink Micro is saving the majority of them from a lot of damage, but they are being eaten up, and these Zealots need to get into the fray. These Zealots with charge and level 2 weapons are going to make the fight more interesting. They're going to need some Broodlords or something to help stem the flow. We do see one Broodlord being warped in, but maybe not enough. Broodlords and some Banelings could be very, very helpful right now. We do see an expansion coming down for Switchback. We need to see a group of Zerglings dispatched down here to deal with this. These Stalkers in such a good position. They're just dealing so much damage, but taking heavy, heavy losses. A couple of force fields, maybe not the best idea. However, they are forcing a lot of the units to run back, around and forward. The Stalkers are getting the hell out of there, however, as the Zerglings were able to hold it off, and the Corruptors just able to insta-pop that Void Ray because of how much health it was on. We do see a stalemate now being rendered from that massive push that went on, and Switchback just using his cannons and walls to massive, massive effect. The Zerg player is now in a little bit of trouble. This mass Zergling play is really not doing it very well. I think some more Broodlords and Ultralisks could be very, very beneficial, but he just seems to want to keep going, and maybe some flying upgrades for his Broodlords and Corruptors wouldn't be a bad idea. This amount of Banelings is going to be fairly devastating for this army. However, Banelings versus invisible units, not so good. And if we look at the units tab, units, there's only 3 Corruptors currently on the field. That's not exactly a good thing to deal with some Motherships, Stalkers, and a Void Ray. So this army is going to be quite terrifying to deal with. However, Banelings aren't a small feat either. Let's see what happens. I wonder if he'll just have to start blindly pressing X when below the mothership to deal as much damage as he can. Or are these Banelings... No, these Banelings are just setting out. This expansion is undefended. It's undefended. There are no cannons. And this is where quite a lot of the workers have now been main-arted from the secondary expansion. So these Zerglings are going to run in and deal massive, massive damage. What are these workers going to do? Short answer, nothing. These workers are basically boned. The Baneling torrent is again heading in. One Baneling is not even going to be needed as all the workers go down. This army now heading out across the map, going to be dealing with Ejidin's base of his own. We could see a almost base trade-like scenario happen right now, and it's really going to depend what Ejidin's decision is. His expansions are fairly vulnerable. Yes, hit minions, vulnerables. Anyone who's ever read Terry Pratchett will know what I'm talking about there. And that's exactly what Blowback is doing. Blowback. Switchback. There. I cannot talk. Switchback is doing. Ejidin in a lot of trouble. We do see these Banelings coming back to deal what damage they can. Banelings and Zerglings. A mother... Ooh, I missed this vortex. I think there's going to be a lot of Corruptors. Okay, 2. Very lottish. Oh, massive! Wow! Dear Lord Georgia! With like 5 storms, these High Templars were able to take out every single Baneling, all but like 5. That is not a good position for him to be in. And all he's producing is more Zerglings. Have you heard of Roach's Man? Wow. This is Keno DVT, and that was an interesting game. I think Ejidin's losing mainly stemmed from the fact that he didn't know what a roach was. That's not true. I think he must have had a large amount of success with this strategy versus a Protoss before and just kept pressing those buttons, which he already had. He also didn't have any ground ranged upgrades, so roaches may not have been as effective as hoped. That is one of the advantages the race Protoss has over Zerg, as does Terran, is you only have to upgrade once. Zerg has to upgrade twice to get his army to good attacks. So that's kind of interesting. Apart from that, his macro was pretty good. He does have 2.5k gas at the end of this, and he was floating at very, very high amounts of army for a very, very long amount of time. But he did have a large amount of lava laying around, so the Zerg Macro Master achievement, not hard to get if you like this guy. Both players very, very skilled, APMs of between 100 125 each, so given mine's about 75, not that much higher. But this is Keno DVT signing off. Maybe some Ultralisks would have been a good idea. I don't think we saw any of them. And given the amount of gas, I mean, I don't know, hold on, I'll grab my phone, let's see. Let's do some math, people. Math is good for you. Let's see, 84 Zerglings divided by 2. Yes, you can tell I'm still in school, can't you? Times that by 50. That's 2,000 minerals. Now, let's see. Select lava, Ultralisk. Divide that by 300. Gas is clearly not a problem. Times that by 30, because I didn't enter the right amount of zeros. 7. That's 7 Ultralisks, so that's not that many, but he did similar spawns to this many, many times, and the amount of gas he spent on Banelings at one point was kind of ridiculous, so maybe that amount of roaches or Ultralisks could have turned the tide, but he just seemed to want to press that Z and then that B button, and it may have been his undoing. Zerglings and Corruptors sadly cannot win a game. Not against this kind of army position, so that was his kind of faulting. He did have map control for most of the game, and I feel if he hadn't pressed that C button so many times, he would have won. This is Keno DVT, signing off.